I'm intentionally venturing out of the box for the first time. There's 3 out so far. 1, 2, 3. And this camera's typically been how it usually is. Isn't that right, little pussy? Absolutely tiny. There we go, we've got 4 out there. Oh no, just the 3 still. Here's Mama Cat. There we go, cleaning the car to get ready to go to my sister's, and I thought I would get this hoogly-magoog out. This is normally my little, partition bit. Front door's right there. I usually have this out here, as I have had for a long time, ever since I found it amongst my uncle's stuff. 20 degrees Celsius, which isn't very great at all. It's about 68 Fahrenheit or something. This glorious thing, is completely stuffed, laying on its side. So we ain't going to get anything out of that. Funny how they put 50, 50, 40, instead of having 1 Celsius and the other Fahrenheit. No, couldn't do that. But anyway, I belted it through there. Don't worry, it's not glorious wood, it's actually just MDF. And this, made in France, precision instrument, really. It's got a plastic cover on the back. It might be made in France, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's plenty of Chinese punched out blooming sheet metal parts in it. I don't think it's quite the quality it's trying to pass itself off to be, as all the outer edges corroding. And it's got a plastic back on it, and if you tap the plastic back, a little needle jumps. It's basically a barometer. That one there, you just turn that piece there and it moves. The black one's actually the real one, apparently. It's probably shown up reasonably correct, what it's at the moment. Much rain. That was actually lower, and it sort of got higher. It's at 50% at the moment. That's the hydrometer, like your humidity level, and it's right on the edge of normal, but it was actually back about, I don't know, closer towards 45 or something before. But, I expect to see this when we get these days at 113 Fahrenheit. I expect that to drop right, almost go off the flaming needle. I reckon it's only about 12 or 15% humidity those days, but this only goes as low as 20%, but I'll see how all this performs. I think it's one of these ones passed off to be fancy that's really just plastic back mechanism, MDF, with a bit of stain on it. It's not really as fancy as it's passed off to be. Well, it seems definitely to be working. I mean, they're really starting to shrivel up, but then again, someone else has come to visit. Little bloody ants. I don't think you can see them. They're sugar ants. They're absolutely tiny. As a rule, I almost never get ants here until I put some plums in a dehydrator. And I think I can see them walking in through there somewhere. So there's a number of them. Oh yes, here we go. You can see him. 2 of them there. Another one up there. Ah, this is just great. Little turds. Ah, yeah, well, the hole's right there, about 5 inches away from the damn dehydrator. That was a smart move. How was I don't know. There's a couple of little holes, just basically right over there on the driveway. But you very rarely see ants, like any number of ants. You might see 1, 2, half a dozen, but you're not going to see them all swarming before it rains or anything like that. It's just... Anyway, they didn't have very bigger distance to smell, about blooming 5 inches away. Oh well, ants will be ants, even though I generally don't even see them. These ones here, they haven't got to. So they're only attacking the ones down the bottom. Well, probably stealing sugar out of the ones down the bottom because they are sugar ants. And these ones are all going quite alright. I must say it's a dismal day. I've been expecting it to rain. Still blooming. And all dark and that, and I can feel the humidity sort of like it's a bit of moisture in the air. It's getting cooler, sort of thing, and yeah. Hopefully it doesn't rain, but I think there's a sort of a chance it will, according to the forecast. I think we had about a 40% chance of rain coming, but anyway, I'll leave this for the next few days and see how these do and see how those do, and shake the ants off them when I take them out, and hope the ants don't smell those ones. Alrighty, just out here. I thought I'd go and clear up a bit of scrap wire before I went off to my sister's. I've had these few little bits here and there that really need to be sorted out. This is cypress pines. House is in there. There's my little trees along there. This is part of the original fence around the house. And of course some of that is barbed wire. I've already taken away a bit, but there's about 3 lines of it running from sort of here right through into the post there. So I'm plucking that out, and a couple of other random bits. Is another piece way up further. It's tied around a tree. And there's a little bit of gangle of chicken wire that was under the ground. I pulled it out, ages back. Sort of after we made the fence through here. That's the new fence. It's the old harvester in there. And I had to cut out an old dead tree or two, and I was getting all the logs from out of there, and I sort of pulled this out of the ground around that time. I just clipped off the post there. That'll end up going into the probably a bonfire because it's rotten as hell, or the wood stove or something. Yeah, get rid of that as well. There's a lot of random bits of glass and whatnot, and I'm picking those up. A lot of them, surprisingly enough, don't have any sharp edges. And I assume it's just years of rubbing away in the dirt and sheep standing on them and just general dirt blowing against them and everything like that. But yeah, it's never ending with all this stuff. I have been lately still picking up some big lumps, even out near the almond trees over there. Yeah, a big bloody nut, and the damn thing was literally like that, and about that thick, you know, and you're just like, sort of like, yeah, some sort of a square washer thing or a nut or something like that. You know, and you're yanking these things out, and they're a big bloody lump, and I got to thinking, probably should just go over with a metal detector, and never mind all the smaller stuff, but just try and find all these big heavy lumps that are out there, you know, and pierce them off with a metal detector that I'm, you know, borrow for a day. To hire one is about $130, and that'll be some super duper gold finding thing that penetrates several feet into the ground. And for $130 I can buy a cheapo Chinese one. The reality is I'm only going to use it for a few hours, and I'd rather borrow one. But my uncle did have one. It's a piece of shit. There's something seriously wrong with it. So just beeps randomly when you hold up in the air. I think it's wires crossed or something. So I might have to play around with that and see if I can sort of fix it up. I'll see where there's any wires touching or whatever. And see if I can make a go of running that, because that will find... That one was out of the 90s, not super brilliant, but it'll definitely find big lumps and help me get rid of some of the scrap metal, the larger pieces, and sort of, yeah, speed that process up a little bit. But I sort of think just for a day of doing that, even if I could borrow one. There's another guy my father knows who does have the Ants Pants gold detecting stuff. But even just to borrow his one for a day, just to run around here and get rid of some of the big cast iron lumps and the giant bolts and stuff, you know, that'd be a bit nice just to get rid of that sort of larger scrap metal lumps out of the ground. But anyway, I'm going to keep picking through, pulling out all these random bits of wire and rolling up the longer pieces here. Well, I think we're dehydrating properly. As you can see, they are really seriously shriveling up. I'll probably get these out tomorrow because I've got enough stuff I've got to do today. No, hell, I may even get them out tonight. But I think they are just about done. It's funny, they're shriveled up so shockingly, they only look like a piece of skin. But, so what happens when things get dehydrated, they go very small. Anyway, the ants, sugar ants, have left all this alone now. Got their little sugar stash and ran away again. Just been slicing up a few of the large box forms that are dragged up here, because in a while I'm going to cut stuff up with the miter. Some of the, well, smaller branches of the stuff I was just cutting. A couple of bases, you know, too thick to cut with a miter saw, so I got this heap of crap going. I took a bit. I think it may have actually run out of fuel last time. I only had a trickle of fuel in it. I got it to happen after a hell of a lot of pulls, and yeah, tighten the chain and all that, but I don't think the chain oil's working this time. Then again, barely any oil in it, and yeah, I don't really feel like mixing up a batch of two-stroke oil. Probably should have got a little bit of bar oil, but I didn't even check it, just for about 3 or 4 cups. So, yeah, but what I've got to do in a second, before I do that, I've decided I better bag up all this stuff. I've got to wash my hands because a bit of muck on my hands from adjusting the chain there, but I reckon this stuff is pretty much done. As you can see. So we'll disassemble a few bits and pieces there and sit it down, and then get the stuff out, and I might try and put it away over there behind beside the caravan or something, just to keep sheep from friggin' walking on it. Sometimes I think it's laying flat, sheep will just walk on them and wreck them, so if I prop it up against a caravan I'll be alright, but it'll be a bit of a two-part thing because the bottom's heavy enough on its own and the glass is friggin' terribly heavy. It's like lifting bloody cement sheet on your own, that damn glass. But anyway, I reckon it has been a success, and fortunately I have some desiccant, little packet I've got, and I reckon all of these will fit in one of these little zip bags, even including that little amount there that the ants are now left alone. Quite surprising. There was, definitely a few handfuls worth of it all when I was first dealing with it, and now it's just dehydrated to nothing. But things that have got a lot of water, when you dehydrate them, there's jack shit left. You guys probably eaten dehydrated apricots, and you know what a full apricot's like, and then you get these dehydrated ones, and they're like this sad little bloody friggin' shriveled up sack. I sort of occasionally buy these ones that Aldi has that are from Turkey, and they're brilliant tasting, and they're relatively cheap, and don't mind the old apricots. There's a chance I'll try and dehydrate something else in it at the shop board, as I was saying. I might be apricots, it might be, tomatoes or something else, even some greens or whatever, and we'll dehydrate them and see how they go. But got to check out the blood plums, as I was saying, when I get back, and we'll see where we're at with all that. Might grab a handful of plums from his sisters, but there's probably not any point. So we've got plums flaming everywhere around here anyway. There we go. As I said, one small bag. Now that was, holy smoke, it was about 4 times the size of that. Yeah, about 4 times the size of that when I laid them out. So they're very small. I realised that I'm going to have to sponge down all this because there's still a lot of sugar and crap. And some of the really small bits don't really come off, so you're best to put them as literally plum halves, because cherry plums are rather small already, but if you get it too small, they just will literally stick on there like a glob of shit, and you ain't going to get them off. Also, I noticed that if you do get a bit of grass in, because these are, the whole lot of them are actually stuck to it, and you've got to sort of give them a flick and they come up, you could probably vacuum clean any dust or little tiny bits of grass off the top of them by running a vacuum cleaner just above them before you actually pull them off without sucking them up with a vacuum cleaner, which is something I'll keep in mind for future reference.